What's up, guys? Ice Hack here. So in this video, I wanted to speculate some on the Necromancer, because I enjoy me playing as some Necromancer. Especially as of lately, after the Diablo 2 mods come out. Like Project Diablo 2, for example. What's cool about it is the skeletons received a lot of buffs. And it's really hard for me to comprehend and think back and remember what is the vanilla Lord of Destruction Necromancer like when it comes to summoning skills. I don't recall the common endgame builds being summoners, as much as that sucks, because of course the Necromancer goes along with the idea of summoning and having an undead army about him, or at least an army of golems. But of course, which reminds me, in LOD Classic, you can only have one fucking golem out at a time. So that's what we're going to get with Diablo 2 Resurrected. But of course, there are the occasional summon Necros that, to my memory, have a lot of fucking skeletons surrounding them. And I don't think the mages are really worth shit in LOD Classic. Because the Necromancer, like in this mod for example, has been one of my favorite builds. And I remember back when I was a little duck, I was never much into the Necromancer. I had a couple of my boys who played as the Necro. They were like, yeah man, it's cool, man, it's tight. His skeletons do all the work for you and you don't have to do shit. And at the time, to me, it just didn't sound all that appealing. But now, I don't know if it's I'm older and shit or what, but it actually is really nice just being able to chill and have all your home dogs do the work, like what you're seeing here. I actually got a torch. Check this shit out. Dane hooked me up with a jaw rune because, of course, he pinched that jaw season 1 that should have been mine. Fell right at my feet. Clicked all over the place, missed it. He came in and grabbed it. So he apparently found one. Another jaw. Now season 3. I mean, not the first jaw he's found, but he found a jaw. I don't think it's the first jaw he found. He found a burr and other shit. But so he offered it to me and I was like, okay, I'm going to take it. What the hell? I'll get a torch because I haven't had one. Great Bomb, Armor King Leoric. Undead Crown. See, now all this stuff is going to be so much different in D2R. Now, a benefit, I think, is that you actually can equip the godliest fucking Enigma in D2R. Here's a new shield that you're not going to see in D2R. For this mod only. But yeah, that's the thing, is it has its pros and cons, I think. And one of the pros, perhaps, would be that you can have a godly as fuck Enigma. But here's my skeleton damage. Race Warrior, now it's doing 2200 max. Mage is doing all sorts of elemental shit. Clay Golem's actually doing okay. Curses, which have been nerfed in PD2, but still. There's a strategy about how you can build a cursed character, though, where they actually can be quite powerful in PD2. But yeah, that's the thing, man, is I'm looking forward to D2R, and I'm still hoping that they make female versions of the characters. Maybe they'll have them on the select screen or something, I don't know. But for whatever reason, they went all male for the starting lineup, and with all these trailers and shit they're coming out with. But I don't know, I'm kind of hoping that, you know, that we do have the female Amazon, assassin, sorceress, and that sort to choose from. So here's hoping, right? But beyond that, yeah, I am looking forward to playing it some, because, like, consider the video I made a couple days ago where I talked about the kick assassin that I want to make, because you could have an OP as fuck kick assassin in LOD botnet. So, because the Death Sentry is very powerful. 60 to 80% corpse damage returned to enemies. So yeah, very powerful. Corpse Life, returns damage to enemies, I believe. So I'm looking forward to that. And Enigma, you can teleport like cray cray. You run fast as fuck with it. Has a ton of strength, ton of MF. No nerfs whatsoever compared to what you see in these other mods. So that might be kind of exciting. But yeah, I just have I don't have much of an idea as to how good the Summon Necro is going to be in LOD Classic. I think that they die a lot. You need a ton of skill gear. I know that Poison Necros are pretty good with Death's Web and shit. Low resist. And then you have some variation of Bone Necros that do okay, like the Bone Spear Necromancer. I think those are the most prominent ones. But as for Summon, I don't know. So let me know in the comments below. Is there a decent Summon build for LOD Classic? Or rather, D2R? For what's coming up. Let me know in the comments below, because I do know there were... I mean, it's classic shit. You know, there are a lot of OG players who main the Necromancer. I just don't feel like the Summoners, however, were up to par as they are in these mods. Like these... Your individual skeleton warriors, they all do splash damage. So every time they hit, they do a certain radius of damage around them as well. So you can really clean trash mobs out with them. And your mages are actually viable. So there are those two factors to consider. And like I said, you can only have one golem out at a time. So I don't know how much of a priority golems are in LOD Classic. I don't think they're much of a priority at all. I don't recall ever seeing a endgame golem build. I think Revive might have some potential. I think really the best summoner is going to be a maxed Revive build. However that looks in LOD Classic. This is the modded version. The max Revive build along with Skeleton Warrior and whatever synergies go along with it. And then maybe you can cast amp damage and shit and just teleport around a lot. But yeah, man, I mean, this kind of playstyle I just started to find appealing. You can watch videos and shit while playing. You can be suckling on your coffee while playing. So you could whack off while playing. For those of you who are interested. But, yeah, I ain't interested in that shit. But I mean, you can... You know, there's a lot of fucking things you can do while playing the Necromancer. So, I don't know. It's gonna be... It's going to be bittersweet to go back to the days where there are a bunch of overpowered shit. I can make my godly kick assassin with an overpowered death sentry trap. You can have Enigma on all your characters. You can have a godly light sorc who teleports fast as fuck, who has infinity. Just obliterates anything that takes lightning damage, basically. So you can have those things, you know. So that I find intriguing, but I just don't think there's going to be a decent summoner, man. But I know some of you guys have experience with the Necromancer. So let me know in the comments, what is, you know, a viable Necromancer build in LOD Classic? And I actually think the Necromancer design looks okay. I think that they did all right with him. I think he's the best looking one out of all of them, which really isn't saying much at all. But in addition to that, I think he actually looks okay. So that's kind of cool, how the Necromancer actually looks alright. But how really do you make him worse? He's already an ugly as fuck old guy. So that's basically what they did with everyone else. So it kind of works with the Necromancer. I guess they just decided to not change anything and make him ugly as fuck as well, along with all the other characters. But, so there is that. And as for the Druid, I don't believe there's a summon build as well for the Druid in LOD Classic. Even less so for the Druid. Basically, summon Druid is a meme in LOD Classic. You can get through normal mode and maybe get through some nightmare, but other than that, his summons just get wasted, and they aren't viable much at all in hell. So I think, you know, maybe it actually would be okay if they make some change. I know there has been some talk of how they might consider quality of life changes and some balances in the future. So maybe that's a place to start, perhaps. Just make some other builds a bit more viable. You know, just bump up the synergies and shit for Skeleton Warrior, for Skeletal Mage, maybe let you have a couple more golems up at once if you pump up Golem Mastery, like how it is in PD2. And for the Druid as well, you know, maybe different ways. It doesn't have to copy PD2, but just simply put, make viable summoners. Because I think it's a key role in Diablo. Because a lot of folks started off as a summoner. So there really is a lot of gameplay involved as summoner necromancers, or even druids perhaps, in LOD Classic. It's just that once you start progressing through Nightmare and then later Hell, you have to respec or you're going to be fucked. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. And like the video if you haven't yet. Become a patron if you want. And if you want, you can also buy Ice Boy a fucking coffee. Links in the description below. So I'll talk to you toads later. Peace be with you.